Chapter 16. Logan's POV. "Come in." My father's voice resonated from inside the office, which will be mine in a couple of weeks. I opened the door and entered. My father was sitting on his desk doing some paperwork. A small smile played on his face upon seeing that it was me. I sat on the couch across his desk. It was made of very soft leather and was brown in color to match the rest of the office. Several white and brown designed pillows scattered across it. I placed myself comfortably between them before talking to my father, my glum expression getting noticed by my father. "What's wrong, son?" he asked. "We have to do something about the new moon pack, father," I stated flatly. "Other than me wanting to avenge my mate, I don't really like the way the Alpha and the higher-ups treat their pack members." My father sighed deeply. "I know, son. But that's none of our business. Drake is an alpha to a pack of 200. He has his own ways." "Ways? What ways? To buy a girl to be his slave? To mistreat one of his omegas and turn him into a slave as well? We don't even know if he's targeting another omega at this moment." My father looked taken back from my rant, and I didn't miss the hint of confusion in his eyes. "Omega? How would you know about anything like that?" he asked. Now it was my turn to sigh deeply. The rogue that we caught at the borders, it turns out that he was an Omega in the new moon pack. After we took Eva, the Alpha targeted him next and made him their slave. He couldn't deal with it, so he ran away, I explained briefly. "You already spoke to him?" "Yes, today," I replied. "And are you sure about your facts?" I hesitated for a moment before answering. "Not quite, but I can ask Eva to fill me in on some things. I just hope she's okay with that." "We can't do this to her. Why would you want her to remember those horrible memories?" my wolf Rex asked, exasperated. "I don't, but if we can collect as much information about that good-for-nothing Alpha, we can avenge her. We can make him pay for all the years of torture he bestowed upon her," I replied. I never wanted Eva to relive the times in her old pack by remembering. I want to protect her from even her nightmares. But if that will put an end to it, then we have to do something. "I object. I'm not taking part in making her remember whatsoever. We can get information from anywhere else." "I thought you were smart," Rex spat. I could feel his anger radiating off of my body. I sighed. "Yeah, he's right. We can get information from somewhere else." I blocked the connection with Rex and turned to my father, who was looking at me in amusement. "What?" I asked. I never get tired from watching someone talk to his or her wolf. It looks like they belong to a mental hospital, changing expressions every second, he replied, smiling, before he started laughing at the end. "Father, and you're alpha of them all," I replied mockingly. "Anyways, I changed my mind, Dad. I don't think it'll be a good idea to make Eva reopen tragic memories. It will be best to try and find information and proof from somewhere else," I continued. "Okay, son, tell me when you reach anything, and I'll try contacting the king as soon as you get them," my father said. I nodded my head. "Excuse me, Dad. I'll go check on Eva." A smile spread across his face as it lit up at her mention. "How is she?" "I really want to see her, you know," he said. "She's been struggling with her tail growing, but other than that, she's fine. She opened up to me and is on the way to opening up to the rest of you," I replied, grinning. My father replied with a grin of his own. "I really hope so. I just wish her tail matter is over soon. Her screams tear my heart to shreds every time." His expression turned to a sad one at the end. "Yeah," was all my reply. "I'll go now." He nodded, and with that, I made my way out of the office. I opened my bedroom's door quietly, making sure that I don't wake Eva up if she was still sleeping. I popped my head inside, and to my dismay, Eva was still sleeping. Her body was curled under the covers, her black hair was sprawled on the pillow around her head, her mouth was slightly parted, and she was snoring softly. The image in front of me made me smile widely, and my heart to grow a pair of wings and fly to the pillow right next to her. And with that, I pulled my head back and out and closed the door behind me. Thank God at least my brain remained intact with my body. As much as I hated that Eva was sleeping and I can't get to spend the time with her, I was a bit relieved since I can go search for information about her old pack. But this is crazy. I mean, I saw how Eva was back there. I saw it with my own eyes. Even my parents and the rest did too. Dr. Mitchell, who treated her, can confirm it as well. It would have been great evidence if Eva's scar didn't disappear, but I'm glad they did. I want nothing to remind her of her past. I want her to open a new, clean page in her life here with us, with me. Suddenly, a thought snapped into my mind. Wesley. He was in the pack as well and was treated no differently. He was also there and witnessed how they treated Eva. He'll be a good start. I made my way to the kitchen where I knew I'd most definitely find someone, if not everyone, there. I was stopped dead in my tracks, shock filling my body, and my mouth was wide open at what was happening in front of me. Or should I say, what's not happening? There was absolutely no one in the kitchen. What? Did these people ever stop eating? I sighed and left to look for Wesley, or at least someone who would lead me to him. I tried mind-linking someone, anyone, but they all had their mind blocks up. I know I'm alpha and can make my way to their minds easily, but they had their own privacy and thoughts that they want no one to hear, and I respect that. But then again, why did they all have their mind links up? Something was wrong, I'm sure. I heard some faint whispers and shh sounds coming from the garden, so that's where my feet first directed me to. I moved cautiously just in case there really was something up. I opened the front door and looked around, but there was no one in the front garden. Whispers reached my ears again, and they led me to the part of the garden on the side of the pack house. We had our garden surrounding the pack house as a whole. It was large enough for all sides before it outstretched into the woods. I turned the corner and started walking slowly, trying to find the source of these hushed whispers which come and go. I started realizing that this side was where my room is, the room where Eva was sleeping. I started panicking, and that made me quicken my pace. Again, I was stopped dead in my tracks at the sight in front of me. I was beyond angry. These people won't rest until I lock them up in the basement cells as punishment. Even my mom was a partner in crime, if not the mastermind. Right on top of the tree that was right next to my room, my mom, the twins, Alexis, Chloe, Jake, and Taylor were standing on top of it and trying to look at my sleeping mate through the window. How childish could they be? Now it clicked in. They all put their mind links up so I wouldn't know what they were up to. They sure have a death wish. A plan popped into my head which made me smile evilly. I slowly started approaching the tree from behind, and as soon as I was close enough to hold it firmly, I started with all my might, shaking the tree. My sudden action caught them all off guard. None of them were able to form a reaction as they all started falling off the tree one by one, grunting in pain as their bodies reached the ground. They were falling like ripe apples, and when I was sure they were all on the ground, I stopped shaking the tree. I wanted so badly to laugh my ass off at how they looked, but I had to do that later. Now I'm mad. I turned to face them as they slowly started getting back on their feet. As soon as they saw me, they all froze in place. I stood there tall and strong, crossing my arms across my chest. Could someone please explain to me exactly what's going on up there? I asked, to no one in particular. I made sure that anger was evident in my words. We were just, one of the twins started, and when he couldn't form a coherent sentence, he looked at my mom with plea, who just tensed up at my gaze. Alpha, Jake started, but I cut him off. You, Jake, even you. I thought you were mature enough. You're the beta, for heaven's sake, I said, exasperated, throwing my hands up in the air. Jake hung his head low and murmured a low apology. However, I didn't stop there. I turned to look at my mom. And you, Mom. Didn't you? I pointed at her. And you, I pointed at Alex. And you, I pointed at Chloe. Saw her already, I asked. Chloe hurriedly hid behind Jake. Alexis and my mom turned their heads searching for someone to hide behind before they ended up behind the twins. We're sorry, I heard my mom say. Her words were muffled behind one of the twins' back. I really have to learn how to differentiate between them. This will soon drive me insane. We're sorry, Alpha, Chloe said from behind Jake. Alexis following, and then soon the boys did too. I sighed deeply and uncrossed my arms. You all will be spending the rest of the day and tomorrow out of the pack house. I don't care where you go, but I want no one in the pack house until tomorrow night, I said sternly. Gasps erupted from the girls, and they all looked at me dumbfounded. What? But Alpha, Taylor started, but I cut him off. No buts. I want all of you out, I said again. Logan, even me? My mom asked hesitantly. You, Mom, I said, pointing at her. I'll be telling Dad on you. Her face paled. Ha, Logan, sweetie, my baby boy, you know how much I love you. She spoke sweetly as she made her way to me and held on to my left arm. Yes, Mom, I love you, but I also love Eva and care for her. I don't want her having a heart attack if she woke up to all your faces stuck to her window. I almost snapped. She hung her head low. I know, but it's that thing about her that makes you want to keep her company until your grave, she explained. I nodded inwardly. I had to admit there was something about Eva that makes you more than comfortable around her. She just draws everybody in. Logan, can't I just leave the pack house with them? She pleaded, hope filling her eyes. I shook my head. Nope, I said, popping the pea. She let out an audible sigh. Guess that's bye to the barbecue party on Saturday, she said sadly. Come on, chop chop, I said. Pack whatever you need and leave. I need the house empty before Eva wakes up. I inwardly face-palmed myself as the last part slipped by mistake. Hopefully they don't catch on that I only wanted them to leave so I can show Eva around without her worrying about meeting anyone just yet. The stunt they pulled was my greatest opportunity. However, their smirks, eyebrow wiggling, and their oohs and ahs gave out that I have been caught red-handed.